Good evening and welcome back to Cougar Puck Radio. I'm Matt Gajtka. We're here live at Southside Ice Arena for the final game of a three-game homestand for your Cougars. Coming off the biggest win of the season last Saturday right here against East Grand Rapids that clinched a spot in the Tier 1 bracket of the OK Conference Tournament coming up next week. The Cougars can make it three in a row and a clean sweep here at Southside with a victory tonight against the visiting Mona Shores Sailors. Mona coming in with a record of 11-8-1 for head coach Chris Benedict. Catholic Central at 13-5-2 for head man Kyle Marchand. And the Cougars are officially done with regular season conference play. They finished 4-2-1 in the Roo Division. So job well done there. That got them the 3 seed. So that means they will face, guess who? The Mona Shores Sailors. That's upcoming Tuesday at 5 o'clock p.m. at Griff's Georgetown in the quarterfinal round of that Tier 2 tournament. So consider this a little OK Conference tourney preview. And in fact, both coaches considered not playing this game tonight, but they elected to keep it on the schedule. They want to make sure their players are, fully ready in terms of getting the reps necessary as we go into the conference tournament next week. And then, of course, just a couple of weeks away from the regional tournament. It's supposed to be an 8 o'clock start this evening. We had some youth games go a little bit long, so we're going to be getting started closer to 8:20, but glad to have you along on Cougar Puck Radio. Make sure to like and subscribe, and join us once again. Like I said, this upcoming week, I'll be having full coverage of the Cougars. Hopefully, long run through the conference tournament. They're guaranteed to play 3 games, but you got to win all of them if you want to win the Ron Baum Trophy, which was claimed by East Grand Rapids last year. And by virtue of the Cougars' win against EGR last Saturday, the Pioneers are knocked down into Tier 2. So the Cougars will not be facing East again this season in the regular season. Now, as for the Division III playoffs, that's a completely different story. But still a little ways to go in the regular year. Catholic Central has turned it up in recent weeks since the holiday break, and actually going back to just before they adjourned for Christmas and New Year's. The Cougars are 7-2-1 over their last 10, despite missing their captain and one of their top guns in Isaac Kappinga due to an upper body injury over the last several games. He's been out, but we saw last game guys like Cade Heminger chipped in for his second goal of the weekend. He had the game winner for Catholic Central against East Grand Rapids in that tight 2-1 decision. And the Cougars are going for 3 wins in a row tonight. As I said, that'd be the first 3-game win streak for them since back in late November and early December. Similar story for Mona Shores. They started off pretty hot. 6-1-1 were the Sailors just past the start of December, but they've gone 3-5 over their last 8 since the calendar page turned over to January. So they've dropped off a bit, but this Mona Shores team is one to be, I don't want to say intimidated by, but one to be respected on the offensive side, as the Sailors are averaging exactly 4 goals per game. They got a couple of 17-goal scorers in their lineup tonight. The 4th-year varsity player Eli Habbettler, 17 goals, 37 total points, including 12 points on the power play. So discipline will be key tonight as well for the Cougars. They want to stay out of the penalty box this night more than most nights. Cullen Conrad also has 17 goals and 30 total points for the Sailors. On the Cougars side of things, I mentioned Cade Heminger scored in the game against EGR, a big goal there. He also had the icebreaker against Saginaw Heritage a week ago tonight. He's got 5 goals on the season now. Parker Moore scored again last weekend. Actually, he had goals in both games, come to think of it, as he ended up getting credited with a goal that looked like it bounced in off a Cougar in front of the net. Actually, it went in off of a Hawk in that game against Saginaw Heritage. And then Parker Moore scored the teddy bear toss goal. How can we forget that? So Moore has 6 goals, matching Noah Onstadt for the most on the Cougar blue line. And Jacob Aaron was sizzling against East Grand Rapids, holding the Pioneers to just the 1 goal, scored with the extra attacker late. Aaron picked up his 13th win of the season, 24th of his varsity career in that game. He has a .917 save percentage, and the senior has a 2.12 goals against average this year. 5 total shutouts for his career. He came close in both games to picking up another clean sheet. Could have easily had a couple of shutouts. Aaron, again, will get the start because he's the only goalie on the roster, and he has responded well to that pressure. Time for the pregame prayer and also the Star-Spangled Banner from Southside. Back in a moment for the drop of the puck on Cougar Puck Radio. Final Friday of January, and great to spend it with you on Cougar Puck Radio. Catholic Central versus Mona Shores. These two teams will meet in the first round of the OK Conference Tournament on Tuesday, and I'll have full coverage of that for you right here on CPR from, I was going to say from Granville. It's not really Granville. It is Granville's home rink, but it's also Jennison's home rink. It's also Hudsonville's home rink. And the Grand Valley Stars youth program calls it home, and I'll be setting up shop there essentially next week. I'll move in with my brother and sister-in-law who live out there in Jennison, I suppose. That would be a good thing to bring up to them before I go ahead and do it. Good to have Eli Rice back on the camera. Went to the March for Life last weekend in D.C. Good for him. I did that as well when I was a high schooler, so that took me back to 2003, not to date myself. All right, here we go. Mona Shores in the dark blue. Might look black on your screen, but it is a very dark blue, light blue with white trim, and Catholic Central in their home whites. As it's bounced in, just wide of Jacob Aaron. He swats it to the corner anyway. Eli Habetler's over there, the top gun for Mona Shores, 122 points in his varsity career. But the Cougars move it up the far wing. Caleb McLean rifles it in, back behind the goal, and Will Nolan, who's getting the start for Shores, stops it there and works it up into the neutral zone where Habetler dropped it off for Finn Novi. In over the blue line, and delayed offside called. That was a late call by the linesman on the near side, but he blew it dead with the puck in the far corner. Nolan for Mona Shores, an .843 save percentage, at least according to Michigan Hockey Hub. Sometimes I doubt the veracity of the save percentage stats because, well, in some games, if you look at the box score, there are no shots recorded. So if a goalie gives up 2 goals and he is credited with no saves, then that's going to hurt the save percentage. That's offside against the Sailors. But anyway, Nolan, a 2.78 goals against. We can trust that one. And a 7-6 record. 2 shutouts this year. Mona's coming off a 9-0 win against East Kentwood, their Fisher Division rivals. Mona finished 2nd in the Fisher Division. The Cougars 3rd in the Rue Division. And it's a 2-3 matchup coming up, cross-divisional, to start the conference tournament. This is a preview of that. Pastelli He was excellent last weekend, especially against East Grand Rapids. Works his way to the outside, dropped it back. It's deflected onto the tape of Carlander, shot it off the outside of the goal. Rebound, Moss tried to hand it off to Pastelli, who remained up in the attack, but he fanned on the shot. Potter couldn't keep it alive. Carlander will. Continues to cover the point. Pastelli backtracked into neutral ice, and Carlander, with that long reach, fed it over to Potter. Potter trying to get around him, and he does. He shoots. Save made by Nolan, his first stop of the night, and cleared by the Sailors. Well, good aggressive start for Catholic Central as they're off and running. Like I said, trying to make it 3 straight wins on home ice. Icing against Catholic Central. We'll bring the face-off back into Cougar territory to our right. 1 minute and 33 seconds into tonight's game. Mona Shores, they score 4 goals a game. They give up 3, though, on average. Catholic Central allowing less than 3 per outing. In fact, right around 2.3 goals against and 2.7 goals for. Dozema shot off the stick of Nolan, and it ricochets to the near corner. Jackson Dozema, 11 points, matching his jersey number, but 10 of those assists. I think he'd love to get a couple more red lights before we get to the end of the season. But he is a tenacious performer. Here he comes again. Dozema making a move, trying to swivel his way by. Ended up tripping up Owen Herman, though, when he lost the puck, and Catholic Central about to go short. So Dozema got the stick in the skates of Herman, and down he went, and this potent Mona Shores power play gets the first kick at the can tonight with 14:59 to go in the first. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is Cougar Puck Radio and Catholic Central Hockey, brought to you by our gold sponsors, Innovia Wealth and ARC Insights. Thank you for your generous support and commitment to our student athletes. The face-off one back to the point. Quinn Adicott dumped it down into the corner. Taking a look, Conrad shooting high off the shoulder of Aaron. Not cleared, though. Habetler, and it was blocked in front. Blocked by Heminger. Clutch play as the top gun for the Sailors had a clean look, it appeared. The tie-up behind the net. Here's Adicott. Pinned there. Adicott trying to work his way free, and the puck comes loose. Jack Reynolds hammers it off the glass right next to the Cougar bench, and down it goes. Dozema off for tripping. Dozema, the senior, has to hope his team can come up with the goods here on the penalty kill. Habetler cruising in on his off-wing side, sprays some snow in the corner. Right back to Conrad, shooting, blocked by Jensen. He's getting some PK duty now. Cleared by Noah Onstad after the shot was blocked by Berkmeyer. So Berkmeyer and Jensen getting a look here on PK. This is the first, I believe, this season, at least in a high leverage situation, which, of course, first period always is because the score is usually close. 0-0 early. Cougars down a man. Trying to whip it ahead was Braden Bennett for Mona Shores, and it's driven up into the crowd by Berkmeyer, and I think we might have too many men on the ice against Mona Shores. Faulty line change. That's what I think the referee is saying to the Sailors bench. Well, it's taken a while to sort it out. And yes, the too many men call evens things up. So Eli Lovers goes to the box to serve the penalty officially against the Sailors bench. And Catholic Central successfully kills off the penalty with some help from their friends from Mona Shores. Too many men, and we'll play 4-on-4 for a while, for about 40 seconds as play is resumed, and then Catholic Central gets the power play. So Parker Moore circles the goal, winding it up through center. Poke check, though, at the blue line by Beasley, and dumped down by Mona, but that's an icing because they're not yet shorthanded, so they can't do that, at least not in that circumstance. And with 30 seconds left on the 4-on-4 situation, Catholic Central will go to work in the offensive zone. 13 wins on the season for the Cougars. Just the 5 losses. 2 ties as well. And out of the scrum comes Caleb McLean, holding onto the puck below the goal line, turning this way and that. pressured there, though, and McDowell forced the turnover. Cohen Potter leads it right back into the corner against Lasansky. McDowell wins the puck, though, and speeds it around and out. The boards are usually a safe play at 4-on-4 because there's just less bodies on the ice, so you can typically find an avenue to clear it. But now the Cougars start the power play. They're first of the night. Cooper Moss fanned on the pass, but it stayed right with him. Now he's got a chance. Down the wing, shot it. Score! It went in and out quick, and it's a power play goal for Catholic Central, although no one's acting like it for the moment. Got to get the goal horn going. Cooper Moss fought through a stick check. Might have been a hook, in fact, coming up against Mona Shores, but you can wipe that out. It's a power play goal and a snipe shot right under Will Nolan from the right circle. And for those about to rock, we salute you. Moss scores his 7th of the year and his 2nd on the power play. That shot was in and out so fast, very few Cougars fans here reacted to it, but you can always tell from the players, and everyone stopped and congratulated Cooper Moss, at least those that were wearing white jerseys out there. The guys in dark blue slunk to the bench. Gevorkian stepped up on Habetler at center ice, and Catholic Central winds it up, and Potter dumps in. That's Gage Potter, the Cougars' top scorer. Set it up for Carlander at the circle, and a stop made by Nolan, and no rebound on Carson Carlander, the Cougars' alternate captain. So Moss was powering his way through center ice. He was trying to make a pass to the near side, and he partially fanned on it, but it stayed with him, and that threw off the Mona Shores defenders, and it became a 2-on-1 very quickly. Cohen Potter and Gage Potter get the assists. So Gage, the freshman, gets his 17th point. He leads the team by 4 in that category now. And for Cohen Potter, that's his 5th assist and 7th point. Cooper Moss, 7 goals on the season, now 24 in his career. That leads all active Cougars. Habetler a shot, save Aaron, rebound, and Ten Harmsel guides it away to safety. Over to the far wall, but not out. Braden Bennett backhands it deep. Gevorkian on it first for the Cougars. Played it past Ten Harmsel. Novi checking Moss. As the puck's pinned up against the kick plate, Alex Gevorkian catches up to it. And pass it to Carlander, right back to Gevorkian. Catholic Central getting some bodies behind the puck on this breakout. Gage Potter flips it off the far boards. Out it goes. Conrad takes a look across for Mona Shores. Ricochets off the skate of Scarborough, but right to Habetler, who rifles it ahead. Jacob Barron with 11 and 20 to go in the first period. Handed it to Onstadt. Lead pass eluded Reynolds, and so Braden Bennett's back on it. He rifles it into the near corner, and another delayed penalty. This time it's too many men against Catholic Central, it looks like. So 1 against Mona, 1 against the Cougars. You don't see that too often. And, well, we've got too many men penalties back to back. I'm not sure I've seen that many at all this year, let alone 2 in 1 period. So a bench minor, looking over there trying to figure out who's in the box. In the meantime, the Sailors win the draw. Adicott goes across D to Bennett. Right back to Quinn Adicott. Down deep, Conrad. He has 17 goals on the year. Try to make a pass. Onstadt right there in his face. Conrad back to Bennett. Bennett across. Big drive by Habetler. Missed the target. And another delayed call. And it's going to be against Catholic Central. Something went on in front of the net, I think. And Onstadt grabs the puck. Penalty against, I believe, Dozema, the way he's reacting. Roughing is the preliminary signal. And Catholic Central putting itself in some trouble early on with the penalties. And that's the second one against Dozema, who fires his glove in frustration at the penalty box door. It's a 5-on-3 for Mona Shores. Already a 3rd power play for the Sailors. These two stacking on top of each other. Opportunities 2 and 3. Gajtka cradles and wrists it. Deflected. Blocked by Jack Reynolds out high. Good start to the 5-on-3 kill, but still 90 seconds to go on it. Gajtka down low. Habetler trying to get the pass across. Could not do it. And it's intercepted by Reynolds and fired out of the zone. Conrad goes to the bench for Mona Shores. Habetler, the captain, stays out there. Owen Herman finesses it near wing. And Habetler pulls it off the wall. Right back over to Herman. The left-handed shot onto the tape of Quinn Gajtka, the defenseman. 13 points on the season. Barnett over to Habetler. Back to Bennett. And he had to take it off his skate. Wasn't right in the wheelhouse for him. Habetler out high. 47 seconds left on the initial too many men on the ice call. And Bennett a shot, deflected, save, Aaron, loose puck, and jammed just wide. I don't know how that didn't go in. Habetler misfired from in tight, and the net is knocked off its pegs. That's the reason for the whistle, and that's a good break for Catholic Central, as that'll give them a chance to get some fresh legs on the ice. Nate Barnett for Mona gave Jacob Aaron a tap on the pad, saying no hard feelings, brother, as the Sailors were crashing his crease. 9:48 to go in the first. 37 seconds left on that too many men call that has Gage Potter serving the penalty. Usually it is an offensive guy you put in there just in case you get a chance. Wrist shot by Cooper Nellis off the blocker hand of Aaron and wide. Nellis has 11 goals this season. He fanned on that shot, though, as he tried the big, long toe drag. McDowell at the point. Jones McDowell, 8 goals from the blue line. A lot of guys who have put the puck in the net at a prolific rate this year for the Sailors. McDowell to Herman. And this is the second power play unit. Herman shooting, blocked in front, rebound to Novi, and a high stick on the puck will give the Cougars a face-off outside the zone. The Sailors touched it with a high stick. Eli Lubbers with a mild protest, but it falls on deaf ears. And with just 2 seconds to go on the initial penalty, that'll essentially kill it off, as the face-off is dragged all the way back in front of the Sailors' goal. And just 24 seconds left on the penalty to Jackson Dozema for roughing. So the Cougars, they're not out of the woods yet, but they're close. And Potter punches it forward. Catholic Central's killed off the second opportunity for the Sailors. The third one has 15 seconds to go on it. Jones McDowell to the left side. He nearly ran over Herman, but he got the dump in, executed. Pastelli whacks it along the wall. Novi plays it down deep. Herman protecting it. 5 seconds left before Dozema escapes. Herman looking, backhand pass across, wobbles onto the stick of Novi. Backside pass for McDowell, couldn't take it cleanly. McDowell tried to feed it, and he misfired on that, and he's harassed out to the blue line and kicked through and all the way down to our left. Berkmeyer on the charge. The Cougars have killed it off, and what's the call here? 8:34 remaining in the first period. The referee blew the play dead. It's another penalty against Catholic Central. Cross-checking against Cohen Potter. And Coach Marchand says, just go to the box. I'll argue it if we need to argue it. 4th penalty against the Cougars. And they still lead at 1-0, but they'll be short again. We are not even halfway through the first period, and 4 penalties on the board to the home team. And again, the Sailors control the draw with help from Habetler and Barnett. To the corner and Conrad clips it along the kick plate. Far side, Habetler takes it. And this is seriously playing with fire for Catholic Central. But they've just got to go to work again. Far wing, Bennett. Habetler out top. Cooper Moss pressuring him. It's Bennett to Gajtka. Conrad along the goal line, closes, feeds, deflected. Went off a Cougar, I think. I think that was Carlander in front. Bennett shoots, deflected by Onstad off the high glass, stays in play. 1:25 to go on the power play. The 4th for the Sailors already. To the point, Bennett speeds it across Gajtka. Slides it down deep. Conrad makes a move, hits Bennett. Shot was blocked, came loose in the slot. Ten Harmsel, can he clear? He's rammed from behind by Habetler, and he couldn't get it out. Gajtka, shot, pad save by Aaron. Redirects it to the end wall. Taking the Karam Habetler. Off to Bennett. Banks it down low. Gajtka across. And scooped by Barnett. Barnett to the corner. Habetler taps it to Cullen Conrad. Gajtka closing. Conrad, 44 seconds to go on the power play. Conrad twists away from Onstad. He's stripped by 10 Harmsel, who plays the puck to the near side. Onstad clears by Bennett all the way down 200 feet. And that's what you need to get 4 fresh bodies on the ice. 7 to go in the first. 26 seconds left on the Mona Shores power play. They've had a lot of offensive zone time, but only the one really good chance. Hadbettler missed on a rebound, and even that wasn't a clean look. Also, a shot was blocked that came off the stick of Hadbettler. The Cougars lay the body, and it's cleared again, this time by Dozema. Up the near wall, 2 seconds to go on the penalty. It's over. Catholic Central has killed off all 4. Dozema lofts the puck out of play into the bench, or into the stands, I should say. And how about that? 4 for 4 on the kill. The only goal so far scored on the Cougars' power play, ironically enough. And they only had a few seconds before Cooper Moss fired it in from the right wing. Jensen pokes it at the line. Dozema ran right through Maverick Briseno. And the puck's up for grabs on the far side into the Mona Shores end. Jensen hacking at it. Takes a shot. Save made by Nolan. Nearly surprised the Mona Shores goalie. Maybe it did, but right off his chest. Pastelli bounces it toward the goal, but intercepted and cleared by Lubbers. And he gave it right back to Parker Moore, who set sail into the Mona Shores end. No pun intended. Reaching for it. Jensen couldn't get the shot on target. Finnerty harassed him. Far side Scarborough. No stick for Scarborough. And the Sailors can't clear. Cohen Potter, a long shot. Save made. Rebound Jensen. And the goalie, Nolan, got pushed into the net. Now the net's off its moorings. And no goal on the shot toward the front by Cohen Potter, as that right post was dislodged by about a couple of feet. So everything after that was nullified. 5:43 to go in the first. Pretty action-packed. Just the one goal on the board. But a ton of special teams play. And Coach Benedict for Mona Shores was just rejected from getting a late change, it looked like, by the referee, and the face-off out of the zone. Oh, that's what he was protesting. The fact that it was ruled that well, no, it doesn't make any sense because it took the face-off out of the zone. He should have enjoyed that. So I think it was about the line change. Anyway, played up and out by the Sailors. Zach Lasansky got the job done. Brady Collinon, who scored his first goal as a Cougar last Friday against Saginaw Heritage, couldn't make any headways into the attacking zone. That's broken up. McDowell feeds it ahead. Here comes Conrad, trying to get between a couple of Cougar defenders. Couldn't make it all the way, but jumping on top of that's McDowell. Threw it out in front, and the shot goes wide from Conrad. Conrad lays a massive hit as 10 Harmsel cleared, but he took a shoulder right to the chest. He appears to be okay, not injured, but easy for me to say. He's going to go right to the bench with under 5 to go in the first period. McDowell surrounds the puck and lost control. McLean takes over. Wanted to put it in the skates of Lasansky, but Lasansky dropped the knee down to the ice to prevent that. Cohen Potter follows on, though, keeping in the possession of the Cougars. Shot toward the front, deflected. Gavorkian shot it, went off a Sailor, and just wide of McLean. McLean fires coming off the left side boards, and that missed. Ladled back to the point. Gavorkian another shot, blocked to get in front. Heminger fanned on the attempted follow-up and plucked free by Conrad. He's sideswiped at center ice by Dozema. As we go tit for tat at Southside. Conrad's a rambunctious player, though, in addition to the scoring touch. You can tell he likes to get himself involved physically. Onstad, lost it. Conrad on that loose puck. Saved by Aaron. That's a clutch one to bail out his teammate. That was a rolling puck. Tough play. And Onstad couldn't get back to prevent the scoring chance. But here is Noah Onstad again. And the Cougar veteran dumps it off the far wall. Behind the net, Bennett. Gajtka off the glass beyond the freshman Gavin Huskins, getting his first shift of the night. Onstad hit Huskins with that attempted breakout pass, or at least a clearing attempt. Huskins back away from Onstad. Gajtka takes over. Gajtka driving in deep. The D-man all the way below the goal line. Played it out to his partner, Bennett. A shot deflected. Rebound. Barnett put it wide. Barnett had the initial chance, too, on the tip. 3:14 to go in the period. Herman out to the point. Saved by Bennett momentarily, but now scooped up by Heminger. Heminger to the puck below the goal line, sandwiched by a couple of Sailors. Carlander a little late arriving at the party, but Parker Moore keeps the puck in the offensive zone from the half wall. Moore picking his way to the top of the circle. Now he gets it back, lofts it deep, away from Heminger, latched onto by Bennett, and he clears down the far boards. Pastelli spins away from Herman. Morgan Pastelli steps on the gas, and he's tied up, lost the puck. Nellis going back the other way. Cooper Nellis dispossessed. Parker Moore kept a good gap. Pastelli left it on his backhand side over to Carlander. Right in for a shot. Fought off by Nolan. Rebound. Carlander toward the front. Moss fighting for it, and again the net is off. And the puck is slid into the open side by Pastelli, and the Sailors don't love that, as they give him a couple of bumps with 2:21 to go in the first. Thanks for joining me on Cougar Puck Radio. I mentioned our gold sponsors, also our Royal Blue sponsors. Let's give them a shout. Chris Back, Fox Motors, Sharp Automotive, and 3-in-1 Solutions. Thank you for supporting the team. Game number 21 on the season. And the first season for Coach Kyle Marchand. I was calling him Marchand earlier this year, like the Florida Panthers winger, Brad Marchand, but he told me, well, the original French origin of the name would have you saying it Marchand, so we're going with that. Like to honor the heritage when I can. Here's Gage Potter shooting off the crossbar, and I think netminder Nolan got a piece with his blocker. He looked to his blocker as if it had a hole in it after that shot hit the iron. Gage Potter that close to making it 2-0, but we play on in a one-goal game. To the far side, Dominic Dove softly up the far board. Scarborough couldn't extract it. Moss closes, feeds, Pastelli shooting. Saved by Nolan off his chest. And free to Scarborough, and he clears the length. And that's an icing call against Mona Shores with 1:47 remaining in the first. Promising offensive zone play for Catholic Central again. They hit a post or a crossbar. Might have been right at the joint of the two, actually, now that I replay that in my mind. Potter against Habetler at the dot. Habetler won it. The Sailors have been good off the faceoff, but didn't really help him there as the puck was played right to the side of the net. It got dicey for a moment as Will Nolan was pinning his shoulder to the post. Dove knocked it away from the on-rushing Cohen Potter out to the blue line, and Berkmeyer couldn't keep it. And he ends up tying up with Novi. Back the other way, Habetler. Great dangle, and he scores. Spectacular goal by Eli Habetler. Made one man miss, and he buried it low to the glove side against Aaron for a tie score. 1:23 to go in the first, and Habetler, a moment of individual brilliance, ties the score with his 18th goal of the year. And congrats to him. That's also the 60th goal of his Mona Shores career. They don't get much prettier than that, and he was lethal burying that shot. McLean taken out by Novi. That's a penalty against Mona Shores. Lofted back into the Sailors' territory. McDowell touches it exasperatedly, and the call is made at center ice. Tripping the call. Our 6th penalty of the period. 2nd against Shores. Finn Novi to the box. CC is 1 for 1 on the advantage. 1:14 to go before the intermission. Carlander against Habetler, back to the point, Onstadt swivels his hips, takes the puck away from the reach of Conrad, shot it toward the net, gloved and kept by Will Nolan. So the Cougars' Moss scored early, Habetler just moments ago. Catholic Central gets a second power play opportunity though. And Collinon helps it back to the point, Onstadt assessing his options to Brady Collinon. Out top, Onstadt. Around the umbrella far side, away from Huskins' reach though. McLean reaches in, Carlander takes it. He's awesome on the power play as Carson Carlander, 7 points on the advantage. Great pass across the Huskins. Wanted to go back with one more to Onstad, but it was deflected out of the zone by Habetler. 40 seconds left on the power play. So the Cougars trying out some different combinations on the advantage. Turned over by Carlander. Habetler's right there again, and he scores. He dumps it into the open net. Shorthanded, it's 2-1 Mona Shores. 2 quick ones for Habetler, and the visitors have a 2-1 lead. Unforced error by Catholic Central, and with 29 seconds to go in the period, first lead of the night for the Sailors. And when you give a guy that handsy that much time in front of the net, it usually doesn't end well for you. Aaron did what he could to hold his ground, but now he shakes his head. You never are happy about giving up a goal, even if it is a clean-cut breakaway like that one was from about 20 feet in. Dozema fights for it, wins the faceoff. Still time for the Cougars to strike back before the end of the period. Moore swerving his way through. Heminger on the puck. Tried to deal it back to Pastelli. Instead, it didn't quite get there, and Lubbers hammers it all the way down and out. 10 seconds left in the period. The Cougars led for a solid 11 minutes, and just like that, they're trailing. Pastelli maneuvering to the outside. Pastelli, a couple of seconds left to the middle. Heminger got a swat at it, and time runs out just as it was cleared out to the blue line. Reynolds held, but it didn't matter. And Moore has to be separated from Eli Lubbers as the two teams adjourn to their respective dressing rooms. Back in 10 minutes for the second period, still 46 seconds to go on the Cougar power play as Catholic Central gives their goalie a couple of taps, apologizing for hanging him out to dry a couple of times. Hey, it's a team game, and it happens. Still time to make up for it. 2 periods to go, maybe even more. We'll find out from Southside Ice Arena on Cougar Puck Radio. We can bring it to him. That makes me happy. So thank you for saying that. Yeah. better at actually managing the 5-year-old a little bit at times, but it's still yeah, it's just like we went a couple different places. I took him to the trampoline park on Tuesday. We went. What else we do? I got some hockey equipment for the younger one. He's starting to learn to skate, so we went to play it against sports. I don't know, just trying to figure out ways to do something different besides just stare at the screen in the house. Her families, yeah, we get a little bit of help as far as like the mornings go, because I drive a bus for for a West Side Christian, so I'm up early. That hasn't been pleasant either. This cold mornings, it's been a lot. Well, so Jillian's aunt or mom comes over to watch them for like an hour and a half, get them off to school, and then yeah, from there we're okay. No, they don't ride with me typically because they'd have to get up at like 6:30, and that's a lot too. No, we're so close. It's an easy drive up there. Yeah, we're like 4 minutes from school. So West Side is on Coville between Leonard and Lake Michigan Drive, and we live just off Lake Michigan Drive by 196. Oswego Street is like the first street off the highway, so that part of it's convenient. So we do have that. It's been nice. She just got home this afternoon. She was delayed. She had a hard time getting home from. Yeah, she got a hard time getting home from L.A. She was out in Orange County and Santa Barbara this week, so she had some nice weather. But it took her. She had to fly to Denver late last night. And then she had to get a hotel because they couldn't, otherwise it'd be a red eye, and then from Newark to here, it's just like, just spend the night and then do direct from Denver to here. But yeah, she's hopping all over the place. She's had pretty good luck, in fact, with cancellations and things like that. She's been able to navigate that, no pun intended. Yeah, it's a lot for her too. She does all these client visits and, sales pitches and stuff like that, so got to be on all the time for that sort of thing. Shaking hands and, being personable. Well, yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I try not to, unless something major happens, it's like I'm not going to bother her with anything. We'll talk to her at night typically. So no FaceTime. Put it together. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, when you're younger, you think when you're a parent you're gonna have all the answers, but you definitely don't have all the answers. We're all just making it up. But when you're a kid, though, you don't think that. Right? Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, they're very different. Yeah, Lucas, my older one, I've got to gamify everything, or he gets bored super quick. He's got ADHD, so we got to manage that. Younger one, I can give him a ball and a knee hockey stick. He'll be down there shooting the same shot like 100 times in a row until he gets it just right. Yeah, it's like plug and play for him. So I don't know. They both came from the same two parents somehow.
Yeah. And if you had time to coordinate all the different things.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. And we're back quick. They were punctual with the restart. Guess we did start a little bit late. Maybe folks just want to get home, although no bad weather coming. More harass at the point. Here's Habeltler back for Mona Shores, looking for the hat trick as he pulled up into the slot. But on that fresh ice, the puck scooted away from him, and Parker Moore cleared. It is a Cougars power play for 25 more seconds. Always tough on those carryover power plays, though. Difficult to get your momentum going again coming out of the dressing room, and that's proving to be accurate here in this case. Habeltler, the Shores bench thought he was held, but no call made. Thankfully, I'd like to see some 5-on-5 for a while. We're down to 6 seconds to go on the Finn Novi tripping minor against Mona Shores. The Sailors lead at 2-1 on Cougar Puck Radio. Moore drifts it across. High shot, very high shot from Gage Potter. Number 26 in white tried to answer number 26 in dark blue, but it didn't work out. Here's Nellis through center. Back to 5-on-5. Nellis pulls it back, and that was right into the path of Moore, who was back checking hard. And so the puck skittered away to the far corner. Barnett in after it. Back to the point, Bennett on one leg. Shoots it just wide of the top right corner. Braden Bennett letting it rip somewhat artfully. We're here at Southside Ice Arena. Catholic Central trying for its third straight win, all on home ice. They haven't played that many games, or they hadn't played that many games on home ice leading into last weekend. Just a handful. That's how it goes in high school hockey. You've got a lot of neutral site games in addition to the true road games. So most teams play fewer games at home than all the other places combined. Moss couldn't get all the way through the gauntlet, and it's banged away by the netminder Nolan. Over to Nellis, up ahead it goes, icing the call against Mona Shores. 15:10 to go in the second period. The Cougars are on the road tomorrow, 12 o'clock start against Portage at Wings Event Center. That's set to be on the Valley rink, in case you're looking at making the trip. Dozema against Finnerty at the dot, and Dozema controls for the Cougars. 10 Harmsel shot, nearly wiggled its way all the way through, but it hit a body just before it got to the netminder Nolan. Lubbers jabs it away, back behind the Cougars net. Aaron looks over his shoulder. He's got the A for alternate captain on his chest. As the Cougars could appoint another captain with Isaac Kappinga on the shelf due to injury. So Cooper Moss takes over wearing the C, and Aaron, the goalie, gets an A. It's quite the honor for a netminder. He's talking to his mom before the game. Wrister by Onstadt on the money, but Nolan on top of his crease to make the glove save 2.5 minutes into the second. A lot of teams are down in Trenton this week for the MIHL Showcase. And the Cougars hoping to get back to it down there again next year. They were down there last year, dropped a couple of close ones. There are some local teams down there. I'll see if I can get to the out-of-town scoreboard and fill you in on what's going on. Forest Hill Central's down there, Sparta's down there. I don't know if Rockford is, I can't remember. East Grand Rapids is as well. Lasansky, behind the back pass, intercepted by McLean of Catholic Central. Fired it behind the goal, turned over again by the Sailors, or nearly, but Colnan overskated. Conrad backhands it to the near wing. Moore clicks it off the stick of Finn Novi, who's out of the penalty box. First shift on the ice for him since the tripping minor. McDowell, hard wrister, deflected over the high glass and out of play. Elsewhere in the OK Conference, West Ottawa leads Hudsonville 9-4. That game is still going on. West Ottawa and Hudsonville will be taking part, of course, in the OK Conference tournament next week. Yeah, Rockford is down in Trenton. They're playing Gross Eel. They're up 2-1, are the Rams. Goals by Packard and Ragukis. Here's Gage Potter, a shot save rebound. Oh no, it went over the net. Oh, Carlander thought he had a tap in, and he just got under that somehow. The puck was bobbling a bit, was not sitting flat. Cost him the goal as Onstadt shoots. Deflected. It was blocked by Briseño in front. Onstadt back to it. Centered Carlander. Second chance. A shot hit a leg. Briseño got back to block it, or maybe it was Dove. Either way, the Sailors rallying to the help of their goaltender. Charging out of the pack, Nate Barnett. Big number 20 down the wing. Run off the puck by Onstadt. Strong check. Scooted up the near wing, held there by Barnett. Cross ring pass away from Nellis's reach. And the Sailors got to go back for it in neutral ice. Powered ahead by Maverick Briseño. And there's the play up ahead by Pastelli. Picked off. Out high. Bennett shot. Saved by Aaron. He got a glove on it. Couldn't catch it, but made the save. That's the most important part. Bennett back to the point. Here's a snapshot from 65 feet. Stick saved by Aaron on Atticott. Pastelli again trying to clear. Far side this time. Potter whacked at it. And following up to send it all the way down is Noah Onstadt. He shakes his head as it's an icing call. But he's all right with that to get a line change executed during the stoppage in play. Forest Hills Northern and Eastern is also down there. In Trenton, they are beating Wyandotte Roosevelt 4-0. Matthew Duflo's got a couple for the Bird Dogs. From behind the Cougar net, Casey Ten Harmsel to Jensen, onto the blade of Berkmeyer, and Noah Berkmeyer lifted it ahead, quickly pushed back out into neutral ice, and right back into Sailors real estate. Jackson, Liam Jackson reaching in. No points on the year for him, but working hard. Got it to Finnerty. Lubbers passed it hard off the boards. Adicott took the ricochet. Lubbers in the middle. Oh, he shot it off the crossbar, and it stayed in play. No, it did not. It hopped off the bar, up into the rafters, and over the netting. Wow, that close to a 3-1 score, as the Sailors are taking advantage of some opportunities to keep the Cougars pinned in their own end at the start of this second. Earlier today, Grand Haven beat the Kalamazoo Eagles 5-0. Grand Haven will be in the Tier 2 bracket of the OK Conference Tournament. Byron Centerfeld and Notre Dame Academy out of Wisconsin, 3-1. That was in the showcase in Trenton. Backhanded ahead, Heminger, he did keep it in. It's onside, but nothing matriculates from that. Ten Harmsel up the near side. Nope, Habetler got in the way of that. Reynolds backhand, intercepted by Quinn Adicott. He saucers it ahead. Aaron couldn't knock it down. Conrad sent down to the ice on a strong check from Gavorkian. But here's Novi. Out of the corner, shot it, and it redirected over into the near side. That's where Habetler takes and shoots. Pad save by Aaron. He got that shot on net, did Habetler, just fading away from the goal. That's what good goal scorers do. It's not all snipes and beautiful goals. As Novi risks it, save Aaron, and he gathers the rebound, and then Conrad, he jousts with Gavorkian, and I think both men might be going to the box. Aaron gives Conrad a shove with his blocker, coming to the aid of his defenseman. It got a little violent, or a lot violent, in a hurry. 10:58 left in the second, and we've got at least one penalty on the board. Conrad to the box for Mona Shores, and Gavorkian for Catholic Central. So just as I thought. And one of the referees says, okay, we need to stop the talking here. Granville beat Brighton down in Trenton this morning. Luke DeBoer had a couple. Forest Hill Central fell to Rochester United 3-2. Pastelli on the move behind his goal. So 5-on-5 play. On the coincidental minors, nothing changes on the ice. Scarborough whacks it free, but he gave it right to McLean. McLean 1-on-3. Makes a couple of good moves to the outside on his backhand. Great pass to Colnon. Oh my goodness. It was a half-open net, but I think the pass was almost too good. Colnon wasn't expecting it. It was a beautiful setup from McLean. Far wing Moore parades down the boards. He's run into Zach Lasansky, takes over for Mona Shores, around and not out. Pastelli kept it right on the blue paint. Colnon to it in the corner. Brady Colnon, Barnett wedged him off the puck. Lasansky can't clear. Parker Moore takes over. 10 minutes to go in the second. Skips the backhand play. Near side, Colnon against Lasansky. Colnon goes down. No penalty called. Cougars fans wanted a call. Didn't get it. Lasansky lifts it up into the body of Herman, who controls. Herman around Pastelli, and Herman went down. No call there either. We had 6 penalties in the first period. 2 of them too many men on the ice, I should note. That's a category all to itself. Cohen Potter, great speed. Oh, he nearly poked it right through Lasansky's feet. If he could have pulled it off, it would have been a breakaway. From about the tops of the circles, Pastelli wheels it near side. Cougars make a line change. 9:26 left. McDowell fan on the pass. Gage Potter couldn't take the puck, though. And Scarborough clears for the Sailors. Pastelli weaving his way in. One more move to the backhand in the circle. Try to turn it back to the forehand and run off the puck by Scarborough. Cleared for an icing by Mona Shores. Earlier today, Sparta fell 8-4 to Traverse City Central. Trevor Serba scored a pair for the Spartans. East Grand Rapids shut out Midland Dow 3-0. Trevor Bird a couple of goals. Bird had the only goal for the Pioneers last Saturday in the Cougars' 2-1 win. Potter off the scramble, got it back to Ten Harmsel. A wrist shot blocked by Finnerty to the corner. Potter backhand sauce, but that went right to a sailor, Liam Jackson. Finnerty over-skated. Here come the Cougars back. Ten Harmsel drives down the middle. Got it right back and scored! Beautiful goal! Carlander set it up, give and go, and into the back of the net. Now testify, Casey Ten Harmsel. I had visions of his older brother there. Casey gets his third of the year, fourth of his career. And a gorgeous tally ties it at 2 with 8:48 to go in the second. The backhand into the roof of the net to finish it off stylishly for Ten Harmsel. And Carlander, who sure felt bad about giving away the puck to Eli Habetler late in the first period for Habetler's second goal, well, he makes up for it there. And it was a thing of beauty to watch. So we're all level again. Ten Harmsel took the ice up the middle. That was crucial there too. Once you threaten middle, that forces the defense to react. And that opens up things. This is Carlander again. Right back to Ten Harmsel again. He shot it deflected. Novi got a piece off the high glass behind the net. Gage Potter back on the puck and lofted it through center as the Cougars are going to have to regroup back there in their own end. Rolling puck, Ten Harmsel, great skating to corral it. Skips the backhand pass right up the gut, and it's in on the netminder Nolan, who pins it down. Gage Potter gets an assist, second assist for him tonight, at least according to the initial official scoring. So he is at a even 9 goals and 9 assists on the year as the freshman Potter. What an impressive first season for Catholic Central. 18 points to lead the team. And another goal for a defenseman. It seems like every night Catholic Central gets some tangible contribution from the blue line on the score sheet. Last time out it was Parker Moore. In fact, Moore got a couple last weekend, one in each game. And now it's Ten Harmsel. Habetler couldn't get to the puck behind the Catholic Central net. Novi stripped by Jack Reynolds. Dozema, can he clear past Adicott? He can't. Reynolds backhanded it though, off the body of Habetler out to center. Conrad, a shot from the neutral zone, skipped in on Aaron. He made the blocker save, lunging down. Dangerous play in front. Briefly dangerous. Dozema can't escape the front of his net. Moore guides it over to the far side and out. 7:15 left in the second period, and the bench door was slammed by Mona Shores. Down the other way comes a snapshot from Herman, or excuse me, that was Lubbers actually, off the arm of Aaron. Couldn't pick out the number there on the quick transition. Or that was Nellis actually. Cooper Nellis with 11 goals on the season. He's got the puck on his stick again. Tried to snap a shot. Rejected by Dozema. Barnett was driving by right through the slot, hoping for a redirect. Moore up the far boards, and it hops off the stick of Lasansky into the Sailors bench out of play. 1 goal in this second period. Ten Harmsel on the backhand. Off the rush from Carlander and Gage Potter at 8:48. We now have 6:38 to go in the period. In a 2-2 tie, in an OK conference tournament preview, these same two teams will play again on Tuesday, and I'll have the broadcast on the road at the East Rink, unfortunately, at Griff's Georgetown. The West Rink much more conducive to good broadcasting angle and perspective for us, but the final 2 games for the Cougars will be over on the West Rink, which is more of the stadium rink there, if you're familiar with the setup. 2-rink facility, much like this one, but not like this one, in that one rink is much better for spectators than the other. I think this one was designed to be identical on both sides. Pastelli lifting the puck through the legs of Moss, try to knock it out of the air. And again, the Sailors attempted to go on the quick trigger counterattack. And again, it scoots right by everybody down the far wing. Nellis couldn't latch onto that. He did last time, but not this time. Icing the call. Coach Benedict for Mona Shores was lobbying for a deflection call. That would have nullified the icing, but not forthcoming. The Cougars get the offensive zone faceoff. Jensen with Moss and Berkmeyer. That's the combo. Onstadt pushes it across. Over to Pastelli. Wrister blocked. Lubbers got in the way of that. Lead pass for Jackson. Taken away, though, by Onstadt. Up into the Sailors zone. McDowell under heavy pressure from Moss. He rams McDowell into the wall, does Moss, the Cougar captain. But escaping Jones McDowell. And McDowell poked it by Pastelli. McDowell down the wing, shooting, glove save by Aaron, rebound. McDowell put it off of Aaron from below the goal line. It hops loose in the circle, right over to Jackson. Shot save by Aaron, and no further play. 5:22 remaining in the second period. And that's Aaron's best sequence of the frame. One of his best of the night. No power plays in this period after 6 in the first. We're about 2/3 of the way through the period, actually more than that. We play 17-minute periods in high school hockey in the great state of Michigan. More angle pass, area pass really, looking for Collinon, but too far for him to grab. But Collinon is on the loose puck again. Hockey's all about those loose puck battles. Well, that's a lot of it, if not all of it. Novi couldn't take the pass behind him, right on the center circle logo. Cohen Potter into the right corner. Run off the puck by Dominic Dove, who has an assist tonight on the first Habetler goal. 2 for Habetler for Mona Shores. Moss and Ten Harmsel, your goal getters for Catholic Central. And there is one of them, Ten Harmsel, giving to Cohen Potter in close quarters. And Cohen, the junior forward and leading penalty minute getter for Catholic Central, jabbed it to the far wing. Potter reaching in after it. Cohen got whistled in the first period for a penalty. He's got 64 penalty minutes on the season. Iced by the Sailors all the way down. And we'll do it again from the offensive zone for Catholic Central. 4:15 left in the second period. Two teams who have gone about it in different ways, but they've been successful this year. Mona Shores, they've outscored their opponents by and large. And I mentioned they got 9 last time out in a mercy rule win against East Kentwood, who ended up in the 8th place, last place spot in the Fisher division. Adicott powering it off the boards, but yeah, plenty of impressive offensive performances from Mona Shores this year. They also blanked Manistee recently, 8-0. Long trip down for Manistee to get mercy ruled. Anyway, Gage Potter up ahead, squeezes by the check of Bennett. Threw it out in front, just out of Carlander's reach. To the net front, and Carlander deflected the pass from Moss just over the goal. Carlander's got an assist tonight, but he could have at least 1, if not 2, red lights of his own. Gevorkian hustling back for it. Uses the net to protect the puck as well as his body, but couldn't get it out. Herman losing control of it to his opposite number, Moss, for Catholic Central. He's bumped hard, and Barnett takes the puck back, cleared it behind the goal. Onstadt whipped it around, off the wood, and out. Deflected there by Gage Potter. 3 minutes to go in the period. Bennett rips it in and heads off for a line change for Mona Shores. Onstadt tries to pin it, waiting for reinforcements. Dozema reaching in. Herman also involved in the puck battle for the Sailors. It's in the feet of Barnett. They continue to jab away. Digging for it in the corner. We spent about 20 seconds down in that corner now. The referee gets close, says move it, move it, move it. Now she's trying to encourage them to do so. The puck is still available, apparently. And now it is not. Finally, oh, a delay of game has been called. Delay of game, or no, maybe a covering of the puck with a hand. It's called against Catholic Central. Onstad. So a game management penalty against the Cougars, our first penalty of this period, sends Mona Shores back to the power play. 2:30 left in the frame. I think it was delay of game, technically. Anyway, getting back to the Sailors, they put up 9 against Saginaw Heritage, 5 against Chippewa Valley, 5 against Grand Haven, 5 against Wyandotte Roosevelt. They beat Byron Center as well, coming in here on the first weekend of the season. Impressive win. So delay of game is the call. As we hear it over the PA system, Habetler dumps it into the near side, and Bennett from the half boards. Right back to Habetler, heavy pressure from Moss. Got all the way through. Barnett across. Conrad Fan on the shot. Pastelli blocks the follow-up chance from Adicott. Habetler right back to Adicott. He's got Bennett near side. Gives it to him. Bennett shooting. Rejected by Parker Moore. The Cougar D getting the job done. Getting in the way of shots. Carlander clears. High into the air and down. 5th power play for Mona Shores, but the first one since back in the first period. Mona Shores had 4 power plays in the first 10 minutes of this game. Offside, Mona Shores. Barnett was way ahead of the play and didn't look terribly interested in getting back to the blue line either. Not sure what happened there. 1:33 left in the period, 1:04 to go on the power play. The Cougars led 1-0. Mona Shores led 2-1. We're tied up again. And Nellis picks his way into the attacking zone. Herman kept it alive. It's onside. Novi puts it behind the goal. Ten Harmsel, though, gets a chance to clear, and he does. Put a lot of mustard on that rip shot up the boards. 1:13 remaining in the second. Down to the final 40 seconds. So the delay of game penalty against Noah Onstad. And the Cougars surely miss him on the penalty kill. Nellis to the near wall. Or pardon me, that's McDowell giving it to Herman. Herman to Nellis. Great toe drag. Stubbed the shot from the bottom of the circle. Nellis on it again, though. He's a nifty one. Feed to the corner. McDowell across. Deflected. Ten Harmsel takes control. 15 seconds left on the penalty kill. Ten Harmsel swerving his way in. Pass it over to Heminger and deflected away from his stick. The power play down to the final 5 seconds for Mona Shores. Jones McDowell, the right-handed shot defenseman, put it off the body of Dozema. You heard the sound effect. The Cougars are back to full strength. 5-on-5. They are 5 for 5 on the penalty kill. Mona Shores has an even strength goal and a shorthanded goal. Catholic Central, an even strength goal and a power play goal. Free to the circle. Habetler to the outside. Sharp angle chance, and it's handled by Jacob Aaron, who gets a tap on the helmet from Alex Gavorkian with just 8 seconds to go in the period. It happens sometimes when plays down to our left. It's easy to lose track of how much time is left because there's only one scoreboard here, which is the case in most rinks, to be clear. Not hating, just saying. Carlander against Habetler. Habetler goes forward. It's cleared, though, by Parker Moore. 4 seconds to go in the period. Dozema on the end of it. Couldn't get the shot off. Now he does. And it's off the pad of Nolan as the buzzer sounds, ending the second. 2-2 after 2 on this final Friday of January from Southside down here in Byron Center. Final period of regulation coming up, and who knows, maybe more on Cougar Puck Radio. Stay with us. 10 arms.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I really thought they said four. It's definitely 10. Was McLean on an assist?
I had Carlander and Gage Potter with the assists on that one.
And it was definitely not my kid. I'm
He
sorry.
could have had an assist to Coleman. That was a great pass.
What's that?
He could have had an assist. Caleb.
Yeah. But it's a little.
Great. Yeah. I called him Liam 10 arms one time tonight. It happens. Yeah. They're kind of the same player almost.
They are watching him play for Eagle. It's unmistakable. He knows. They're the same.
Yeah, same frame. They both shoot right-handed. They're both defensemen. It's a lot.
They both have that same wingspan too. So
Yeah,
they get down
yeah.
low, they both skate low, so they get down and they just kind of shoot right. They're a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, they're like clones. I'm just glad Casey changed his number at least, so he's got his own number now. Because I think Liam was 18 though.
It's amazing seeing
It's certain stuff sticks with me. I don't know.
Alright, I'm gonna go watch the highlights of this in-between period of calls.
Nice. Oh, nice. No. Okay. No. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. I turn that.
How's it going?
Good. Yeah.
You're coaching tonight?
I was just filling in. They were missing a couple of coaches tonight, so
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
fun to get the skates on and be out there with the boys and the girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have 2 squirt teams, so it's like a joint practice.
Yeah.
So a lot of kids out there on the
Yeah,
ice. We're
for
just
sure.
working around stations.
You guys did, the small area games and all that.
Yeah, so we set up like 6 stations over the ice for skill work, and then they do some small area stuff, some 3-on-3 stuff at the end. So they practice at 6, so had enough time to scoot down here.
Yeah. That's cool.
How are things for you?
Good. Yeah. Early work week this week, but yeah.
Oh yeah. What so what do you do again?
I run a
bird? That's a crane.
A crane?
I remember that as a kid, we had that day off back home in Pittsburgh too. It was negative 22, so it must have been the same weather system or same polar vortex, whatever.
Nothing
It's
but
kind of
ice.
fun for a day, but negative 22, but after a while it gets cold.
Maisie, this is cool.
My 30s, like I was running all the time, playing pool, Vancouver.
Would you run outside in that stuff?
Oh yeah, like this. Especially when
I'm
it
gonna
goes
shut
into
this
like
off because I'm gonna blow. I'm not sure when to watch. I gotta blow my nose. Maisie, this is cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, not very good. The paper wasn't like crispy. It was
I just
like
hit the treadmill this time of year.
I don't like how the paper is.
I kind of like the treadmill. I know how fast I'm going.
It's like it's been sitting in
It's
the
super dangerous
sauna
on my
for
back.
like a while. I was gonna say that's what we're doing. Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll just queue up some NHL highlights and watch them boom.
All right,
Before I know it, 30 minutes has gone way by.
for my bet,
I've been doing that on the bike
wait,
this winter.
we need CC to score. For my bet, we need both of them to score, but we need us to score twice.
At least one.
How'd you do that?
This is competitive too. When you learn, it's easy. You were texted, we had to make like 10 of them in like under 5 minutes in my art class.
Really?
Yeah. That one took me a second a while. It was a freezing good. Yeah. You can throw that away though. You don't have to keep that.
I'll probably keep it.
At least for a while.
Maybe I'll take a picture of it and keep it in my phone. Take photographs of you with that seconds. Good idea?
Yeah. Let's go, Cooper!
So, yeah, if you just search Cabot Central Mona Shores, it's called Cougar Puck Radio. Wow, he's over here.
He was the better one. I feel like our class we had to like spend like a week designing pictures. We had like tie-dye one side and then put a bunch of different designs on the other side. We got color on
Oh
the
yeah,
paper.
there was
All
seven of
of
them.
our,
So I think it's
every
just like
single art
pictures.
class made one. They hung every single one on the ceiling. So when you walk by, there would be a bunch of people that had
Third period, ready to go. From Southside, we're tied 2-2. We start 5-on-5 in the third. I'm Matt Gajtka. I was told that some of you could hear my conversations at the first intermission. Good thing I play clean. It's all G-rated. It's a good habit to get into as a broadcaster because you never assume that the mic is closed, if you will. Poked away from the side of the net by Pastelli. We'll see what's up here in this third period. Both teams, I don't want to say they're being cagey, but it might be leaving something on the table here because they don't want to show too much. Because the next time they meet on Tuesday, we'll be in the quarterfinals of the OK Conference tournament. Bennett's shot, ricochets off Conrad, rebound. Hadbattler poked it on net, and that pad save made by Aaron. That was a bouncing puck, and Hadbattler couldn't get much on it. But still, Aaron got over in the butterfly to make the stop. The Cougars ice it after that. 16:05 to go in the third. Just past 9:30, late start time. This is the Cougars' latest game of the year. At least it has been so far. Not sure about future tilts. We could have something later in the conference tournament, I suppose, next week. As Onstadt lifts it up ahead. Dozema deflects it further. Heminger couldn't quite get there. The Cougars playing with 11 forwards again. I'll hold that thought as the pass goes right by Ten Harmsel at the point. It might have been deflected a bit coming out from the goal line from Cade Heminger. Heminger scored 2 goals last week, 1 in each game, boosting his season total to 5 and his career total to 11. Heminger's a hard-working, hard-charging kind of forward. Pushed over to Lasansky, and the Mona Shores D-man missed the target. Might have been intentionally off target. Finnerty couldn't poke it toward the front, and taken back by Lasansky. He lifts it into the glove of Ten Harmsel, who leads the charge back. Lead pass McLean right down the middle, and one-handed backhand. Scoots to the end boards, got it back, and shot it off the outside of the net for a moment. Thought it might have been in the net. Off the arm of Nolan, but not to be. McLean pulled it in. Caleb McLean's been active tonight. Lubbers powers it ahead. Aaron stops it there. 2 minutes and 10 seconds into the third. 2-2 is your score, as you see there on your device screen. Thanks for watching, or just listening on Cougar Puck Radio, whatever. You don't have to be locked in the whole time, I understand. Potter to the outside, right off the pad of Nolan, and ushered to safety by Mona Shores' Owen Herman. Barnett up to Nellis. Would have been offside. No, it wouldn't have been. Pardon me. It's not washed out. And Barnett able to stay in the offensive zone and apply the forechecking pressure as Pastelli juking left and right. Hey, the Super Bowl's next week. Looked like a move a running back would make. Gevorkian lost it in his skates. Barnett taking command briefly before Cohen Potter hops in to try to pry the puck loose, and he does. And Potter got a couple of whacks in there on Herman, who jabs him right back. Meanwhile, Pastelli, toe drag, and he took the shot as he got by Braceno, but couldn't beat Nolan. He misfired to the right. Gevorkian right on goal with that wrist shot from 75 feet. And again, Will Nolan makes the stop, his easiest of the night. Carlander drives it ahead from behind the goal. Nate Barnett for Mona Shores, right up the middle in his own end. He and Moss cancel out. The play goes forward as Herman chips it deep. Gevorkian to the puck with 13 minutes to go in the third. Moss the pull-up move. He scored the first Cougars goal. Hooks up with Pastelli down the far wing. Quick hands, but off of Habetler, and the Cougars in the midst of a change. Moore comes to the rescue off the bench to deflect it near side. Catholic Central on the regroup. Moss a shot, and he just missed that short side post. To the far wing. Onstadt, D-to-D over to Parker Moore. The left-handed D-man up the boards. Carlander flushes it. Gage Potter cutting inside. Loose in the slot. Novi takes it back for Mona Shores. Lifts it off the arm of Moss. Back to Moore. Conrad deflected it free. And someone's lost a neck protector. Thought for a minute it was a stick that broke. Wardrobe malfunction. Speaking of the Super Bowl, that's been a long time. Onstadt over the blue line. 3-man rush. Reynolds right up the middle. Took the shot, save, rebound, score! Onstadt backhands it in. 3-2 Catholic Central. Noah's 7th of the season. He went right to the front of the net and cleaned up the loose change with 12:14 left. Be good or be good at it. And Onstadt is both. Cougars back on top. They got 3 men into the rush, and it paid off. And I think I called that as a save for Will Nolan initially. Might not have gotten all the way to the goalie. As the shot came through, and it was possible that Onstadt just stopped it and then turned it on the backhand right around Nolan and into the yawning cage. Lubbers risks a shot from the high slot that caught the glass. Dozema flipping it up the far side, and he gets the return feed from Reynolds. Dozema down the boards, behind the back pass, and that's broken up. Heminger and Reynolds get the assist for Catholic Central. And they're back in the lead for the first time since the first period. Into the penalty box. That puck was shot by Dozema. So the Cougars, that's the second time in this game that they've gone up the middle, driving the puck into the offensive zone, pushed it out wide, and then eventually the puck does come back to the middle, this time on Reynolds' move, but it worked for the second goal as well. It can be tempting to just settle for the zone entry down the wings, but if you can get it up the middle, then, like I said, you make the D scramble, and then things happen from there. And Mona couldn't cover all the options. Cohen Potter all the way. Nearly tucked it in. It's at the side of the post. It's in the net. Yes, sir. The Cougars get another. And it's Caleb McLean who pops it in as the puck was just tantalizingly close to going in on the follow-up chance from behind the goal. McLean finishes, and it's 4-2. McLean's got 3 goals this month. The first 3 of his Cougars' career. 11:14 left, 2 goals in a minute. As McLean shoots to thrill the crowd at Southside. First 2-goal lead for either side tonight. And Cohen Potter made it all happen as he broke down the Sailors' defense, and a timeout has been called by Mona Shores. Coach Chris Benedict tries to settle his troops down. Still a long way to go, especially with the firepower that the Sailors can boast. Okay, so that was the third goal being announced. That was Onstadt from Reynolds and Heminger. The Cougars break the huddle in front of their bench with some spirit, as you'd imagine. Yeah, the PA man read the wrong goal. They got to get the fourth one punched in, although I can go to that live box score thanks to Game Sheet, now being a part of the Michigan High School Hockey Network. McLean from Cohen Potter and Brady Collinon. That's how the fourth goal reads. The 2 goals scored exactly a minute apart. So here come the Sailors, getting the puck in deep. Novi, he's felled on a check on the far side by Ten Harmsel. Novi falling down. Habetler got the shot off. He's got 2 tonight, but that stick save made by Aaron rather routinely. Up the near boards, Gage Potter. Out it goes, and just beyond the reach of Moss. So it's an icing against Catholic Central. 3 goals in a row for the Cougars since the first period. They gave up 2 in under a minute, in fact. So it's been a game of short offensive bursts. 1 for each team. Here's the puck battle, Pastelli. Battled by Conrad was Pastelli, but he still nudged the puck along, and the Cougars break it out. Gage Potter takes a high hit as he came charging in over the blue line. Loose puck high in the zone. Habetler takes control to the outside. The high toss right over the top of the goal. Aaron wisely let it go instead of trying to reach up and snatch it. No reason to tempt fate there. Moore distributes to Carlander, up ahead, and too far for Potter. Quinn Adicott fell down and gave it right to Parker Moore. He shoots. Save made by Nolan, and Gage Potter was right there trying to tip it in. And Moore hoping either for a save and a rebound or just a flat-out score on that shot. So 2 goals from defensemen for Catholic Central. Adding it up on the year, that's 19 goals from D-men. Moore and Onstad have 7 apiece. Ten Harmsel 3, Pastelli 2, Gavorkian 1. It's amazing. Reynolds, the pass to the slot, and Huskins couldn't take it. He was smoked by Barnett. As back the other way comes Nellis. Couldn't get around Onstad. Great defense. Fundamentally sound and physical in the end. Onstad with his head up. He's got the go-ahead goal as of the moment. Dozema slicing in. Reynolds following up. It's loose. Reynolds again. And it's at the side of the net. Backhand. Skitters wide to the far corner. Jack Reynolds hunting. And the Cougars have had 2 goals scored from maybe a combined 5 feet in this third period. Onstad whistles it right by the head of Zach Lasansky, who is first on it from Mona. Can't clear. Held by Heminger. His forehand shot missed the target, but keeps the puck in deep. Turned over again, McLean, and he put it right over the crossbar. Caleb McLean again. No goals in his varsity career coming into January. He's got 3 in 2026. New year, new him. Gevorkian with a half period to go. Turnover to Jackson almost. The Cougars crowd groaned for a moment. McLean drags it through center with Collinon. 2-on-5 really as the Cougars change behind the play. McLean's pass goes behind the net. Gevorkian steps up. Puts it right onto the tape of Lubbers though inadvertently. And Eli Lubbers guides it to center. Ten Harmsel. Whacked it off the boards. Collinon trying to flag down that clearance. Moss first to it. Right to Collinon on his backhand. Great pass almost. Onto the blade of Cohen Potter. He would have had a half-open net. If it would have been maybe a half foot to the inside. Shot by Pastelli. And it pinballs around in front of the net. And poked away by Lubbers. Couldn't get by the poke check of Cooper Moss. 7:50 left in the third, and the Cougars trying to lock it down defensively. Ten Harmsel's got some time and space, and he takes advantage of it. Just cruising in, Casey Ten Harmsel. Great pass, Gage Potter shot, saved by Nolan, rebound. And it deflects to the near corner. Potter on it, again, 1-on-2 there. Habetler yanks it free. Habetler turns on the Jets. The pass a little behind. Finn Novi, though, he's got to wait for it and stoke it in down the far boards. Pastelli waited for Conrad to get right on his back before he moved the puck. That was a savvy play from the senior. Up the far wall. Habetler takes it and keeps it in. Novi, the shot. He missed everything. The Cougars' Pastelli got back to make that a challenging shot for Novi. He had to miss both the defenseman and, of course, beat the goalie. Pastelli to Potter. Excuse me. And it's all about layers right now for Catholic Central. If one guy gets beat, you got to have a second guy and a third guy behind him. Conrad maneuvering his way in for a shot, and he missed again. Mona trying to snipe top corner, but they're misfiring at the moment. Habetler spins it out in front, off a Cougar's stick. Ten Harmsel deflected it. Potter on the puck, and he turns away from Herman. Gage Potter, 9th grader. Whips it wide of the goal from center. Pastelli to it. And the Cougars just playing it safe on the forward check. They get a second man in there, Reynolds. Worked back to the point for Parker Moore. Moore to Pastelli, bouncing a shot, save made. And Nolan covers it up with Dozema getting one last chop at it. And Quinn Adicott escorts him to the side wall. And I'm sure he had a couple of words for him there. 6:05 left. No broadcast tomorrow from Kalamazoo. I'm unable to make the trip, but I'll be with you on Tuesday for the rematch against Mona Shores. Winner of that will advance to the semifinal round on Friday. Either way, Catholic Central is playing on Friday, but will it be in the winner's bracket or the loser's bracket? We'll find out. The rare Tuesday game. Heminger overwhelmed by Bennett for a moment, but that's why it's a team game. Dozema cleared it, and Dozema had his stick whacked out of his hands, slashing the call against Mona Shores. First penalty of the third period. and it's against Braden Bennett of Mona. It's their first penalty since late in the first period. Slashing the call, and Catholic Central gets its third opportunity. Coach Marchand working the bench behind his Cougars. Assistant coaches Corey Carlander and Mike Moss back there again. The power play set up. Onslaught to Moss on the half wall on his off-wing side, all the way across to Moore. Snaps the shot save. Jensen fighting for the rebound, and he goes down as McDowell takes it and fired it up into the netting. That puck went out of play. The referee had a duck and cover in the offensive zone. She went down, and her partner made the call from out at center. It's a team game for the officials, too. Sometimes you just got to protect yourself. 5:20 left in the third. Reaching in, Gage Potter. Back to the point it goes, but Onstad unable to keep it in. And so he moves back for it. Onstad's got Moss with him. Plays it back against the grain to Moore. Choppy steps into the attacking zone. Moore looking for Jensen in front. And no goal. Cleared off the line. I thought Jensen had scored. It went between the legs of the goalie Nolan, but did not go in apparently. I think it was off the right side post. And that's a shame for the Cougars power play unit. Mona Shores clears it though. A minute to go on the advantage. Sometimes you beat the goalie, but you can't beat the iron. More a dangle, and the puck drifts away from him. Nolan slammed it away. Jensen crushed Adicott. The 6'4" Levi Jensen making his mark, maybe literally, on that forechecking effort on the power play. 10 Armsel lifts it back to Moore. Carlander's over the boards and into the action. Long diagonal pass, a little too long. Poked free by Dominic Dove of Mona Shores. 10 Armsel, soft little pass, a beauty. Onto the tape of Dozema. It's called a slip pass for a D-man, and it's crucial to breakouts. 10 Armsel, knocked away from his reach, though, and Habetler back shorthanded. End of the power play. Habetler centered. Postelli got a stick on it, and the puck ended up going right in on net. Aaron made the save, quote-unquote, on his teammate, but Postelli prevented the scoring chance. Power play is over. Cougars 1 for 3 tonight. Postelli to the outside. Looking for some room. Backhand to the front. Cohen Potter scores! It was chopped in by Heminger at the end, but I think Potter is going to get that goal just after the power play expires. Postelli another assist. Cohen Potter finishes the job, and he is the first to celebrate. It is his goal. Sleep now in the fire. Catholic Central has put this one away. Potter's third of the season. 3:26 left, and that's 4 in a row for the Cougars. Nice response from a shaky minute at the end of the first period. Since then, Catholic Central has slowly but surely taken control. And Mona played a pretty good second period for a while, but the Cougars got the only goal of that period. They controlled the latter half of it. Man, Cohen Potter can fly as he just pressed the accelerator down there, but left the puck behind. Liam Jackson back for it for Mona Shores. And Mona just looking for something to hang its hat on as it heads on back to Muskegon tonight. These two teams will meet again in 4 days. Jones McDowell revs his engine. Down he goes, pursued by 3 Cougars, including Cohen Potter, who takes him down. Penalty against Potter for tripping. 2:44 left, and a late Mona Shores power play. Sixth opportunity of the game for the Sailors. Mona Shores' early turning point had a 5-on-3 power play that lasted over a minute 30. Couldn't score on that. They did end up getting 2 at the end of the period, but the power play has come up empty for the Sailors, and even if they score now, it's going to be a little too late, it would appear. Habbettler at the circle, whipped the shot off the glass. Stick went flying, and the Cougars are guilty of another penalty. The shot was blocked from Barnett, touched up by Catholic Central. Interference, the call. For the second time tonight, the Cougars are short 2 men, and I guess it's not quite over yet as Jensen heads off. Well, it's not often you see 2 two-man advantages in the same game for the same team, but that's the case here. Jensen getting a chance on the penalty kill. That time a little too vociferous in front of the net with the stick check. Here's Barnett, straight ahead, right out in front. Aaron made a fantastic save. Oh, he robbed Eli Lubbers from point blank. Little extra burnishing of the highlight reel. Here's Conrad trying to take the cross-ring pass. It remains a 5-on-3 for Mona Shores. Gajtka charging to the net, trying to get involved. Conrad off to Habbettler. The net is empty for Mona Shores. It's a 6-on-3. So Nolan to the bench. Long shot from Bennett. Blocker save by Aaron. To the far corner, Gajtka. So it's a 3-man advantage for all intents and purposes. Bennett across. Habbettler top of the circle. Took the shot off the arm of Aaron to the end boards. A minute to go on the, 2-man advantage. Make it a 3-man advantage with the extra attacker. Shot taken. Another save on Barnett this time by Aaron. Lubbers frees it up. Habbettler's there. Turning it into the middle. Dropped it. Conrad. Bennett left point. Bennett to Conrad. 17 goals for him this season. Taken away by Cooper Moss, who has a shorthanded goal this year. He scored it 3-on-5 in the opener against Gabriel Richard. Bennett in over the blue. Snaps it ahead. 1:05 to go in this game. Still 5-2 Catholic Central. Gajtka dusts it off. Gave it to Bennett. Habbettler back against the grain. Habbettler to Gajtka, a shot save. Aaron loose puck. He covers it up at the top of the crease. And the Sailors cannot get to it. Lubbers, who earlier had a goal taken away from him by Aaron, that time just hoping for a bounce, didn't get it. 8 seconds remaining on the Cohen Potter penalty. Special teams, special teams, special teams. And even though Mona Shores scored a shorthanded goal, they're about to be 0 for 6 here, unless they get one right away. Nellis got it through, but the rebound scooped wide by a couple of Sailors on the back post. Herman wristing, deflected in front, poked out to the point. McDowell holds it in. 37 seconds to go in the game. Nellis, fan on the one-timer, cleared by Ten Harmsel. There goes Dozema. Charging, shooting, scoring into the empty net. Dozema polishes off the victory for Catholic Central, and it's 6-2. Jackson's second goal of the year. And yes, it is technically a shorthanded goal on the 7th power play chance for Mona Shores. They give up one with 28 seconds left with Will Nolan, their goalie, on the bench. For a moment, I forgot the goalie was even off just because of how much action was down to our right. But no goals for the Sailors on these late power plays. They're all over. Catholic Central's killed off all 7, including 2 two-man advantages tonight. And the second one ended up being a 6-on-3. Ten Armsel gets an assist on the Dozema empty net goal. 4 seconds to go in the game. One last rush for Finnerty. Won't be able to make anything happen as time runs out on Mona Shores. Cougars win. Cougars win. They score the final 5 goals of this game to win it 6-2. They're 14-5-2 on the season, and they'll play the Sailors again on Tuesday in the OK Conference Tournament in the quarterfinal round. Have that game for you on Cougar Puck Radio. 5 o'clock expected face-off time from Griff's Georgetown out on Bauer Road. But for now, It's handshakes. 5 different goal getters for Catholic Central. Moss, Ten Harmsel, Onstadt, McLean, Cohen Potter, 6 different goal getters. Forgot the empty netter. Dozma, the empty net goal. Finishing it off, I've got Gage Potter for a couple of assists. Casey Ten Harmsel with a goal and an assist. Also on the score sheet for Catholic Central a couple of times is Cohen Potter. In fact, he had 3 points tonight to lead the squad. So Cohen's efforts pay off in a big way. Both goals for Mona Shores scored by their top gun, Eli Habetler. Goals number 18 and 19 for him on the season, 60 and 61 for his career. But Jacob Aaron gets the best of Will Nolan in the goaltending matchup. And we'll see these two teams lock horns again in 4 days. Great to be with you again on Cougar Puck Radio. That's the next time I'll talk to you. The OK Conference Tournament, 2nd edition. Looking forward to it greatly as your Cougars get a chance to play for some hardware in early February for the first time. See you then. Until then, have a great rest of your weekend. Good night, God bless, and talk to you soon on Cougar Puck Radio.